Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz's house from the show Phineas and Ferb. We already made the Doctor's place of work. I figured it was time to make his actual suburban house. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button as it really helps me and the channel out very, very much. And subscribe if you're new around here. Click that little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my stuff sent directly to your sub box. But without any further ado, let's get started. So just before we start building everybody, here are all of the materials that we will need to make our house. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. The amount of space required to make the house is a 29 by 37 block area as represented by the white concrete grid on the ground, which you are more than welcome to make if you are planning out a world. And that's it. Pause the video if you have to, make sure you have all that stuff, make sure you've got enough room to make it, make sure you're ready, and once you are, we can begin. Step 1, ladies and gentlemen, come all the way over to the front right hand corner of your grid. If you've made it, count to the left of the corner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then inwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That way, we're both starting in the exact same place if you've made the grid. We're going to start off the build by placing 5 blue terracotta on top of each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to take the first block from the top and extend it left by 3. 1, 2, 3. We then want to extend that block upwards by 2. 1, 2. We also want to extend it down to the ground. But in addition to all of that, we also want to extend it left by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to extend it up by 3. 1, 2, 3. But we also want to extend it down all the way to the ground as well. In front of and to the left of this, we want to place a layer of light blue terracotta. We then want to go left of the top block. We'll just focus on the top at the moment. We'll sort everything else out later. We want to extend the top block to the left by 1 using blue terracotta. Another one using light blue. We then want to place another blue terracotta, but we want to extend it upwards by 1. Left of that, we want to place a light blue, blue, light blue, blue, and then we want to extend it up 1 again. We're going to place a light blue terracotta going left, and then if you like, it might actually help you out a little bit, just to visualize things. We can extend this block all the way down to the ground. And that will give you this shape, by the way. That's pretty much like most of the front of the house done. What we then want to do is we want to take the top of this row right here, and we want to extend it backwards by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we want to join it all the way down to the ground, which may take a second or two. And we're also going to add some details while we're on this actual side of the house. So, for instance, underneath the top here, we want to add a layer of light blue glass. We want to add a layer of light blue terracotta underneath that. We want to have 2 rows, 1, 2, of light blue terracotta extending downwards on the left and right sides. We're going to fill it in using light blue glass block, so it's just a little bit shorter than the row above, but there's also 2 rows. And then we're going to fill underneath this in just all with light blue terracotta, and we will have what kind of looks to me, I don't know why, this is just what it looks like, kind of like an angry robot face. Now, I don't know whether anybody else will see that or whether I'm crazy, but I think that we both know the answer. So the next thing that we want to do is underneath all of the glass we want to place, I do believe it's 2 rows, so 1 and 2 rows of light blue terracotta. We want to extend it outwards on both sides by 1 row, and then we want to add another row of light blue terracotta completely around the row that we just made. So it's basically just a little sort of balcony like this. What we then want to do is we want to move towards the back of the house, and pretty much the first thing that we want to do towards the back of the house is we want to copy what we did on the front there. So we want to copy the same somewhat complicated row of blue and light blue terracotta that we have on the front. So quite literally, we're just going to copy what we have there. So just like this. And not only are we going to copy what we have on the front in regards to the light blue, but we are going to fade in a row like we did on the front. We're also going to copy what we did on the front too. So we want to have the same arrangement of blue terracotta, and I'm trying my best to make sure that this lines up. All you've got to do is look forwards and pretty much just make sure that everything does line up rather nicely. Yeah, I think that that's right. And we just want to make sure that we have on the back the same thing that we do on the front. So pretty much exactly like this. Now, there is a little bit of a change. Change number 1, for instance. This row of light blue terracotta that we have here, we want to extend left. We want to extend it upwards and extend it inwards a little bit. So we kind of just want to turn it into... It's basically like a chimney of sorts, like this. The light blue terracotta wants to be extended upwards, probably 1, 2 rows. Shall we say 2? We'll go 2 rows. And then we want to stick blue terracotta on top of it, just like this. Now, on the back of the build, underneath here, we want to fill these rows in using light blue terracotta, just like this. And above, we want to use glass. Now, the front is a little bit similar, except that it's pretty much just all glass. There we go. Now, we'll do this on the back of the house as well. These rows of blue, and we could even extend this an extra row outward if we wanted to, just so that it contrasts a little bit more. Yeah, we'll have the chimney extend a little bit more outwards, out the back. Yeah, there we go. Just an extra row. So now the back of the house is a bit more visually appealing. There we are. That's great. Okay, so we want to extend all these rows all the way down to the ground. This will make up pretty much, as I mentioned, pretty much just make up the walls. Not much is known about the back of the house unless you were to incessantly scour the episodes. So I have just made it pretty much blank and almost a mirror image, although I do know that there is indeed a chimney there. We're going to do the same thing on the front, so we're just going to extend all these blocks up and down, or in my case just up, because bedrock building, much easier to build up than down. I say that almost every video, but it is true. I wish that they would fix it. The speeds are incredibly disjointed, so there we go. That's what we have so far. The front of the build, as I mentioned, this is all glass. If you want, you can use glass pane, but glass block just makes it easier to fill the windows in. And depending upon whether you're making a show house or like a real house there, you might just want to add a backing to the windows. I'll show you what I mean a little bit later on. We have to join up the right side of the house, so the right side of the house is quite easy to do. If you work from the... Basically, first of all, we'll join the blue terracotta parts together, front to back, just at the top. So, like, on the sides, on the front and the back, you can see these 2 blue terracottas. We'll extend them and join them. We want to have 2 rows of 2 light blue glass extending from the front and the back, blue terracotta on the end, which will leave us 3 blue glass in the middle, and that's pretty much the side. I know that there's a lot of glass on kind of like this part. This is where the entrance would be if you wanted one. I'm not having one because it's just a show home. It's not really meant to have anything inside of it, but if you wanted to, a door could be present there. What else? So, other than that, we do also have to make, kind of like, it's kind of like a roof of some description, basically. So, with our light blue terracotta, towards the back of the build, we want to locate the back pair of windows. The one that is most inward, so this right here, we want to count and find the 7th block moving out from it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, here. Place a light blue terracotta and extend it forwards by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Add 2 rows on top of it. 1, 2. There we go. So now that we have made these 3 rows of light blue terracotta, we are going to add a row of blue terracotta directly on top. We then want to add another row of blue terracotta hanging off to the right, but more importantly, 2 rows of blue terracotta hanging off to the left. This is going to set the template for the roof. So the blue terracotta also wants to get extended forwards until it overhangs the front of the house by 1 row. It has to overhang the entire house, so you just have to make sure that over there it just overhangs. Same with the back, it just has to overhang the entire back of the house by 1 row. So, well, honestly, the chimney doesn't really count. So pretty much, so so it'd be here. So pretty much to where the actual chimney ends is where we have to go. And the roof can go in between the chimney. It's no big deal. So that sets us up with a good template, because what we basically do, and it's repetitive and easy, is we take every single one of those blue terracottas and we extend them upwards. We place an up left diagonal and we extend left by 3. Like this. And the way that it's repetitive is that we're going to do that again and again and again and again until we have eventually reached the end of the house. Until we eventually overhang the left side of the house. I do believe it's by 2 rows, but it might not be. Don't quote me on that. You've not done it wrong if it doesn't. There we go, perfect. Basically, you keep repeating rows of 4 like this until you have a diagonal slanted roof like so. And all you have to do is extend the entire roof back. That's it. That's all the way back until it overhangs the back of the build. Now, there are many ways to do this. How do you want to do it? It's really up to you. I'm going to do this way. I'm going to kind of like go left and right, extending from the front to the back, just in one long swoop. So this might seem like it's a little bit slower really, but I think that by the time that we're actually done, it'll be quite satisfying by the time it is actually done. And that will be the roof. Now, once that is done, that is actually the general structure of the house pretty much complete. Like, the house isn't so large or complicated. The general structure of it's kind of like a cool modern design, honestly. Like, it's a pretty cool house, really. It's something I probably would build something that's not so far off of this as an actual like house tutorial, but there are a couple more details that we will be adding to the build, which will just it'll just enhance the build a little bit more. But for all intents and purposes, it will be pretty much done at this point. We just have to add a wall, a little bit of a drive, a little bit of grass, a very, very orange looking bush that's made out of concrete. And did I mention the giant tree? There is also a rather large tree, which isn't going to be that fun to build. So, the only thing with the back of the build here is we've just got to negotiate. There we go. We've just got to negotiate with the chimney. So I might actually split it in half now. I might do this half of the roof instead of going back and forth between the chimney. And then I'll do the same on the opposite side too. So all this, and then, yeah, just making sure that it overhangs. It can connect to the chimney like that. That is perfectly fine. And then we'll do the same just here on this side. So probably the most lengthy part of the build so far, actually, is doing this roof. So... also, I didn't really find a better way to do it than this, by the way, just in case you were curious. So, what we have is that, which is looking, as I said, really good. It's looking pretty close, to be honest. Now we have to add a wall. Now, the wall is going to start off with light blue terracotta, and the way that we're going to make it is, where we have the stripy part of the house, we're going to start here, from this light blue terracotta, move left by 2. It's the second layer of light blue terracotta. Extend outwards by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then left by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14. Basically, if you've made the grid, just count left by 4. If you've made the grid, you can just go all the way to the outer boundary. If you've not made the grid, I'm very sorry. It's 14. So we then want to extend backwards by 22, or if you've made the grid, just extend it all the way to the outer boundary of the grid like this. And then we're going to raise up the corner here, this last block that sits on the back corner of the grid, by 2. We're going to raise up this corner of the wall by 2, and also this corner of the wall by 2, and we're going to fill it all in using blue terracotta, like this. So the wall is two-tone, the corners and the base of the wall is like blue terracotta, and the actual, I guess the filler input, the middle part of the wall is all blue. So yeah, looking pretty good. There we go. When it comes to the rest of the wall, I don't have measurements for you for these, by the way, just those important parts of the wall. We're going to take the bottom 2 rows of the wall and we're going to extend them across the back of the build, sitting on top of the boundary, and then forwards. The wall is actually going to go all the way forwards like this, and I think that we're going to have it stop where the wall starts on the opposite side, if that makes sense to you. So the wall is going to stop all the way over there. Alternatively, you can have it come forward and stop 2 rows short, because that's where the street starts. So either way, it's up to you, but we want to have 2 solid rows of blue terracotta doing exactly that. So it's actually, I think it's best seen from this view. There we go. Just a nice big wall that goes all the way around. There is a large orange plant in the corner of the wall here between the house and the start of the wall. It's made out of orange concrete. 1, 2, 3 in the corner extending upwards. Extend the 2 middle blocks out. Boom. Weird looking plant. There's also a little bit of a grass difference. So there's this part here where kind of like in between the wall and this middle pane of glass here. We're going to extend a row of 3 green terracotta like this, extending from the middle pane, like in between where the glass is on the front of the build. We're going to place 2 diagonal green terracottas here, extending forwards and to the left, and then we're going to connect to the left to this wall. And then we're going to fill this little grass patch in with lime terracotta. That's pretty much all there is to it. It's just a little bit different than all of the other parts. If you wanted to, you could actually completely regrass the area if you wanted to with lime terracotta, if you did want to, but I'm not doing that because of that little patch over there. The next big detail that we're going to do involves a rather large tree, and it is quite big. The tree sits in the back garden towards the back left-hand corner, so anywhere around here. I'm going to come inwards 1 diagonal, 2 diagonal, so like here, probably about like 1, 2. I'm going to place a row of oak wood extending upwards that probably about equals the height of the top window. Now, the oak wood wants to do 3 things. It kind of wants to be shaped like a fork, and it just wants to look a little bit random, so that's why I'm not giving you measurements for this. So it wants to look kind of like an uneven, not so well made fork that you would like eat with, like something like that, right? There is a little bit of greenage on the left side of the fork like this. It's almost like a disc of lime concrete, kind of like this. And then when it comes to the upper part, I'm going to extend these 2 oaks upwards. It's kind of like a big, large oval disc of lime concrete. So it doesn't even really want to connect to the other part. So I might just have to come more so this way, then the other way, kind of like that. And then this. So just something like that, just something dead simple like that is just completely fine. It's not a main feature of the house. You can make it a lot bigger if you want. Perhaps you could make it look a bit more impressive looking if you did so choose, you know. But that's all there is to it. It's just a small feature of the house, just something you can see from the street. Speaking of the street, we have to have 2 rows of, and you don't have to necessarily, but if you want to, you can have 2 rows of smooth stone for the pavement. So just in front of the house, if you want a pavement, I'm not even sure I do, I'm just adding it anyway, because there's a drive. I might actually not even like this pavement, to be honest. I haven't decided yet, even though I've built it. Just 2 rows of smooth stone. But what I do like, because the actual house needs one, is there is a drive. Now the driveway is as wide as the space underneath the kind of like the canopy, carport, evil villain sort of area, you know, whatever you want to call it. It's as wide as the space underneath. It's just made out of smooth stone. That's all there is to it, really. So all this here, and it will connect, and we'll dig all that out and replace it with smooth stone. In doing that, ladies and gentlemen, you've actually finished the house, believe it or not. There's nothing else to it. That's literally all there is, which is great, which is crazy. It's completely done. And now that we have done that, all I'm going to do is dig out the drive, replace it with the smooth stone, get rid of the concrete, and I'll also back the windows with light blue concrete just so that it looks very vibrant and nice. And once I've done all of that, it'll look... So this is what your house will look like once it has been 100% fully completed, ladies and gentlemen. We have our street, we have our house, we even have a tree, we have a chimney, a balcony, and a carport. What more could we possibly need? I think that this house looks great. I actually wouldn't even mind living in this as a survival house. It looks pretty cool. So that's it. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please do remember to leave a like. I'd really appreciate that. It helps me out. It helps the video out. It helps the channel out. Everybody's helped out. Even you, probably. Does it make you feel good to click that like? It certainly makes me feel good. So if you like the video, please do like it. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, click that little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my stuff sent directly to your sub box. Definitely need to click that little bell. Very, very important. If you would like to make anything else by me, whether it's statues, more cartoon/video game houses, really awesome statues, even if you want to make Doofenshmirtz's Evil Incorporated tower, we've got that as well. Also, Phineas and Ferb's house as well. We've also done that. Check out the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section for all of that stuff. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.